Strengthening internal validation and autonomy is about gently reclaiming something that may have been outsourced long ago. Your sense of approval, worth, and rightness from within yourself. Many people unknowingly learn to look outward for signals of safety and value, scanning faces, feedback, outcomes, and reactions to determine whether they are acceptable. This habit often begins early, not because anything was wrong with you, but because approval once felt necessary for belonging or survival. Over time, external validation can become the primary regulator of self-esteem, causing confidence to fluctuate depending on praise, criticism, success, or silence. Today, you are not rejecting feedback or becoming disconnected from others. You are restoring balance by strengthening an internal source of validation that remains steady regardless of circumstance. As you listen, allow your body to settle into a comfortable position, supported and grounded. Let your breath move naturally again, offering a familiar signal of continuity. Notice how the body responds when there is no one to impress, no standard to meet, no reaction to anticipate. Even imagining this absence of evaluation can bring a subtle sense of relief. That relief is important. It indicates where energy has been leaking outward. Internal validation is not about telling yourself you are perfect or above others. It is about developing a stable inner reference point that says, I am allowed to exist, choose, and act according to my values. Nathaniel Branden described self-esteem as the reputation you have with yourself. That reputation is built through self-respect, responsibility, and integrity, not through applause. As you continue listening, notice if there is any part of you that feels uneasy without external confirmation. That unease is not weakness. It is conditioning. Simply noticing it without correcting it begins to change it. You are teaching your nervous system that it is safe to stand on internal ground. Adlerian psychology emphasizes autonomy, the sense that you are the author of your choices rather than a character in someone else's story. Autonomy does not mean isolation. It means self-direction. It means your values guide you more than approval does. As this idea settles, notice how your body feels when you imagine acting from alignment rather than from seeking validation. There may be a sense of uprightness, clarity, or quiet strength. This is not defiance. It is coherence. When actions align with values, the nervous system stabilizes. You are no longer split between who you are and who you think you need to be. External validation often creates that split. One part of you acts while another monitors how it is received. That monitoring creates tension. Internal validation allows action to flow without constant self-surveillance. As you sit with this, imagine the inner voice that speaks to you when no one else is around. For many people, that voice echoes external judgments, praise, or criticism absorbed over time. Today, you are not trying to replace that voice with affirmations. You are allowing a different quality to emerge. A calm, observing presence that acknowledges effort, intention, and alignment. This presence does not inflate or diminish you. It simply recognizes you. Recognition from within is grounding. It tells your system, I see what I am doing, and it matters because it is mine. Over time, this recognition becomes a stable source of self-esteem. Feedback from others can still be useful information, but it no longer determines your worth. Notice how different this feels from indifference. You still care. You are simply no longer dependent. Dependence creates anxiety. Autonomy creates steadiness. As you continue listening, notice any memories or patterns where praise lifted you high or criticism dropped you low. You do not need to revisit them in detail. Just recognize the pattern. That rise and fall is exhausting. The nervous system was never meant to regulate self-worth through external signals alone. Today, you are offering it a new anchor. Imagine that inside you is a quiet internal compass. This compass is guided by values such as honesty, effort, respect, curiosity, or kindness. When you act in alignment with these values, the compass registers coherence, regardless of outcome. Feel how that coherence lands in your body. It may feel steady, grounded, or simply calm. This is internal validation in action. It does not shout. It does not demand. It reassures. As you practice sensing this compass, you may notice that approval-seeking thoughts arise less urgently. When they do arise, you can notice them without obedience. You are not rejecting them aggressively. You are simply not handing them authority. Authority is returning inward. This return may feel unfamiliar at first. Familiarity will come through repetition. Each time you check in with your own values, rather than scanning externally, you strengthen autonomy. Autonomy builds confidence because it reduces volatility. You are no longer riding the emotional waves of others' reactions. You remain more centered. As this centering deepens, you may find that you actually relate to others more authentically. When you are not performing for approval, connection becomes more real. You are present rather than strategic. Presence is felt by others, even when it is quiet. As this session continues, allow yourself to imagine receiving neutral feedback, positive feedback, or no feedback at all, while remaining internally steady. Notice how your body responds to that imagined steadiness. This is not detachment, it is resilience. It means you can take in information without being destabilized by it. Over time, this resilience becomes your baseline. Self-esteem stabilizes because it is no longer contingent. Nathaniel Branden emphasized that self-esteem grows from self-trust and self-responsibility. Today, you are practicing both by allowing yourself to be the primary witness to your life. You are trusting your own perception. You are taking responsibility for your values. This is quiet strength. As you sit with this, notice how your breath, posture, or facial muscles may subtly adjust. These small shifts are signals that your nervous system is registering safety in autonomy. When you no longer need to please to be safe, a deep exhale becomes possible. That exhale is the body's way of saying, I can stand here. As this understanding settles, you may realize that internal validation does not make you rigid. It makes you flexible. You can receive feedback without collapse or defensiveness. You can adjust without shame. You can disagree without fear. These capacities all stem from the same source, a stable internal reference point. As this session moves toward completion, allow yourself to acknowledge that you are already strengthening internal validation by listening, reflecting, and choosing to relate to yourself differently. There is nothing dramatic required. Change at this level is cumulative. Each small act of self-recognition builds trust. Each moment of value-based choice reinforces autonomy. Over time, self-esteem becomes less about how you are seen and more about how you stand. Today, you have taken another step toward a confidence that does not rise and fall with feedback, but rests on a deeper sense of self-direction and respect. Carry this steadiness with you as you return to your day, knowing that approval from within is not something you must earn, but something you cultivate by honoring your own values again and again in quiet, consistent ways.